Hi everyone. We had a super interesting evening and night last night. We were first driving around the fields, rural area beneath Mount Shasta, and I saw what looked like a very low-lying cloud in a field in the shape of a ship, kind of it looked like a flying saucer type shape. But really, it looked like it was almost made out of mist. There are also some phantom lines, almost like non-existent white telephone telephone lines, kind of in a series of four that were there. Super interesting. We stopped the car, took a look, took some pictures. It faded after a few minutes. We next went super deep and tried to get in toward the mountain on a dirt road called Military Pass, and we were hoping we would get even closer toward the mountain, but as we don't have four-wheel drive, at a certain point, uh, we weren't able to proceed and had to stop there. We got in as deep as we could. We saw some very interesting things. So we first noticed some plasmoids and one of them was actually following the car during this trip from the highway into. As we went in, it was moving along with the car so that we could see it. Very interesting. It looked kind of like this one we had seen previously. Now
Which phone do you like better?
we I then noticed
The
a
non-iPhone?
large
Or
circular shape, and this was directly above us with the moon in the center. And this is really interesting because when we were here at Shasta before last May, in broad daylight, we saw a very similar phenomenon, a very similar ship that then let us know it was an Arcturian mothership. We saw it, but with the sun in the middle. It looked almost identical this time, just with the moon in the middle. Really interesting. And of course, that stayed there for as long as we were looking at it. So at least 40 minutes it was there while we were kind of parked in the middle of the woods. Things got a little bit hairy after that. The car was like physically stuck, and we were trying to back out and kind of getting into some sand over there. Then she noticed what looked like Bigfoot walking around, kind of a silhouette of a large ape-like creature. I had my glasses off. I was trying to look through the telescope, so I missed it. But what I didn't miss was this train. So there's an very old rail line near there that we crossed under. We later did research, found out there's no active trains over there. What we heard first, we heard the screeching on the tracks, and we saw the light shining through, and then we saw this train come in, and again this was at night, um, so we didn't see the full details of the train, but we saw the lights of the train. Um, we saw kind of the outline of the train as it came through and appeared. Very very loud, um, significant light coming through, but moving very slowly, very very slowly, inching along. I'm moving about the pace that someone would leisurely walk. That's how this train was coming in, and this is late at night, so this could be um, 11 p.m. at night, having a train kind of inching along, like walking along over there on a train line that's not active at all. Um, as we eased the car down, and right as we got under the underpass that the train had gone over, we started hearing very eerie sounds, like almost in a horror movie. That kind of pitch, like almost you had a bunch of violins going in that off-key, uncomfortable, uncomfortable tone. We opened the window and those got even louder, so like super loud. And then we bolted out at that point. But really really interesting, evening. Tons of other plasmoid activity as well, and I can't wait to share more as we go along on this journey, and we just keep seeing more and more out here.